Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us this week at the 2026 KPMG Women's PGA Championship. And on behalf of the PGA of America, KPMG, and the LPGA Tour, welcome to one of the finest major championship venues in the country, Hazeltine National Golf Club. Before the world's best tee off on Thursday morning at 7 a.m., we are very fortunate to spend some time today with the leaders of each organization who together make this a world-class major. Please say hello to KPMG U.S. Chair and CEO Tim Walsh, PGA of America CEO Terry Clark, and the Commissioner of the LPGA Tour, Craig Kessler. Tim, let's kick things off with you. We saw some very exciting news yesterday regarding this championship's purse. What more can you tell us?
Well, let me hit that news again because it is incredibly exciting, certainly to KPMG. And that news was that the purse for this event will be $13 million this year at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, which represents the highest purse, the largest purse that has ever been awarded in women's professional golf history. And so KPMG has been part of this event now for 12 years. And what you see out here is a result of a lot of dedication and work for many, many people over that years. And when we think back to that first purse, which is just over $2 million, now we're at 13, almost 500% increase in that award. And what that does to support these incredible female athletes in the sport, we're just super proud and incredibly proud to be doing that with PGA of America and the LPGA Tour.
Tim, as title sponsor of the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, KPMG has been really setting the standard of excellence in golf for the last 12 years. How are you guys leveling up again this year?
So the purse is one part of the investment, but just one part. We have been really bringing what we bring to our clients every single day in terms of delivering that tech-forward, AI-forward experience in decision-making, data analytics, right, problem-solving, and bringing that power to the game. And so we've done that over the last number of years through KPMG Performance Insights, and this year is no different. We will be adding some features certainly this year, and one that we're super proud of is the Players Reel, and that is a recap for the players, each individual player, as soon as they're done with a round, that can provide them a bespoke assessment, hole by hole, shot by shot, in terms of their overall performance, fundamental with data analytics, et cetera. The AI part of that equation is that it powers it, right? It makes it real time. They literally will step off the course, and that player reel will be delivered to them into their mobile device. They can step off and they can go to the practice range and work on what they may want to in terms of changing strategy, et cetera. In addition, and this is really exciting for the fan experience and the media, is the KPMG Predictive Engine. And that is also an AI-enabled predictive engine that will essentially help the media see, again, hole by hole, shot by shot, the predictive sort of analysis that will help them think through how they want to form their commentary. And of course, that will be across NBC broadcast and digital, the Golf Channel as well, broadcast and digital, and Peacock. So that's pretty exciting.
That's great. Thank you very much, Tim. Next, we'll hear from PGA of America CEO Terry Clark. Terry, this week, of course, marks your first KPMG Women's PGA Championship as CEO. And it's also a home game. How special is it to be here in Minnesota?
Thanks for the question, Greg. Yeah, I've spent the last 20 years living in this market. Twin Cities has been home for our family, and it's just great to be here as part of that. Part of it is just being around bringing championship golf to Minnesota. This is a market that really supports it and comes out. You see it again this week. We're at an incredible venue with Hazeltine National. We have nearly 1,500 volunteers. 82% of those are Minnesotans. I think I know 98% of those 82%. We'll see. But we're at this place at a really important time in women's golf that I am just excited to be home and bringing a world-class championship to the Twin Cities.
And Hazeltine is a golf course that, is steeped in history and tradition. What makes it significant to bring this championship back here for a second time?
Well, you really talk about being at one of the iconic venues in golf, and that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves with our championships, and especially with the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. One of those things that we're really focused on is really having the best women in golf play on the best stages, and this is one of them. It's one with a storied history, a community, and a membership that really supports championship golf. You see it, you feel it in everything you do. We're going next year to Congressional. We're going to Bethpage Black after that. It's one of the elements that really makes this championship special, is really putting women in, and the best women in the world, in a place that they can really shine. I sat last night at the Champions Dinner and talked to so many current champions from today that are still playing, and some of the champions from yesteryear that we're all talking about these venue selections being so important, and how welcoming and big it meant for the game when we could be here. So it's a really important part, and we thank the membership here and the leadership of Hazeltine making this happen.
Thanks, Terry. Next, we'll go to LPGA Tour Commissioner Craig Kessler. Craig, in your opinion, what is the state of this championship?
Well, Greg, thank you, and thank you to all the members of the media for being here today. The state of this championship is better than it's ever been. Tim and Terry have both hit on some of the highlights, but let me share with the group what excites me about the KPMG Women's PGA Champ. First, we are playing some of the greatest courses in the world, and to go to Congressional next year, Bethpage Black the year after that. I said yesterday during our welcome reception at the Pro-Am party, one of my favorite parts of my job is walking the range during tournament week, and particularly during a major. And you can feel the energy from our players when they are like extra excited to be there. That's the feeling you get on the range this week at Hazeltine. Our players are fired up to be playing such an iconic venue. It also helps that Tim and KPMG announced yesterday they're playing for the largest purse in the history of women's professional golf. And by the way, the player experience is better than ever before. The fan experience, the viewer experience, with all the investments that both KPMG and the PGA of America are making, they're off the charts. One other thing I'd say is it's no coincidence, I believe, that if you look at the growth in the women's recreational game over the last 5 years, it's up 50%. And that doesn't happen on its own. It happens because these two organizations have made such a substantial investment. And when you turn on the TV this week to watch the best athletes in the world compete, you can't help yourself but to be inspired. And there are so many women and girls, even boys and men, who are going to say to themselves, I want to now pick up a golf club and be like Nelly. That only happens because of the investment these guys and their organizations are making.
And can you tell us really about the value of these partnerships?
None of what any of us have described happens without partnerships. Partnerships, we found, are the key to inspiring, the key to unlocking potential. And again, if you walk away with one message from today, it's how deeply grateful the LPGA is to be partnered with the PGA of America and with KPMG.
Great. Thanks, Craig. We've got time for a few questions from the media. Right here, Mark on 4.
Yeah, a question for Craig. With Nelly, potentially being able to play her way into the Hall of Fame, there's no one votes on it. I was curious your thoughts on what makes that the best way to pick a Hall of Famer in your sport.
Well, let's start with the obvious. Nelly's 2 points away from earning her spot in the LPGA Hall of Fame. If she wins this week, she does it. I think one of the amazing things about Halls of Fame is that they celebrate the best athletes of all time, and from time to time there's controversy because people have to decide who fits the bill. It doesn't work that way at the LPGA. At the LPGA, to your point, you have to earn your way in. 2 points for a major and 1 point for a variety of other things, wins on tour, the Bear Trophy Award, and so forth. I think it's an awesome way to decide who's the best because the facts speak for themselves, and meritocracy is arguably the best way to decide who's in and who's out.
Sarah?
Craig, I know the LPGA is making a concerted effort to kind of capitalize on not only Nelly's success, but just the growth of women's sports. How have you seen the tour do that since you took the helm last year?
I'm so proud of the steps the tour has taken. Let's start with part of your question on Nelly. Nelly's off to a great start. She's won 4 times this year on tour. She's won 2 majors in a row, and Guess what she did after winning the U.S. Women's Open? She stayed true to her commitment to play in the Dow Championship with Olivia Cowan, one of her best friends. Have deep respect for someone who has loyalty both to the tour, to our sponsors, and to friends, and creating opportunities like she did for Olivia. The following Monday, she went to New York. She got on a plane. She did the Today Show. She then went and did an interview on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange on CNBC. We and Nike surprised Nelly with a billboard in Times Square, and there were a handful of girls from the LPGA girls golf program all wearing Nelly T-shirts. There were a few other things that happened that week. Interviews with The Athletic, Jill Painter-Lopez at Golf Digest. These are the types of things we need our athletes to do in order to have transcendent stars that cut through sports and find their way into culture. She did it. She's doing it. The other thing we did, we hired Chad Coleman from Dude Perfect to be our chief marketing officer. And he and the content team, take a look at LPGA social content. It's better than ever before. People are following us. They're engaging. Our engagement rates are through the roof. And these are just a few examples of what we're trying to do to win in the attention economy.
Juan?
So I think Craig has proven this already, so I'll ask Tim and Terry. So, Tim, first, why do you think women's golf is a good investment?
It's a great question, and it's an easy one to answer. To be quite honest, look right out here on this course, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, KPMG branded all over this venue, an incredible venue that Terry spoke about. And then if you think about where that then comes alive, last year this event was the most watched TV event on the LPGA Tour here in the U.S. And we expect, based on the 100+ hours of coverage that are scheduled for this year, that will exceed that across TV broadcasts and of course digital. And then if you also consider this pavilion that you can see out there that is huge, we will bring thousands of clients through that pavilion over the next number of days and through the championship. So to be quite honest, the investment is an obvious one for us to get an ROI on. But it's also the inspiration that Craig was just talking about, right? That is so attached in terms of who we are at KPMG. We've been at this event since 12 years ago, right? Since a catalyst for really stepping into and pushing this event for women's golf forward. And so it's something we're super proud of and something we're certainly committed to.
Yeah, and Terry, I make it specific to PGA of America. We spoke with 2 PGA professionals this morning who play in this week. And they have this perspective of the evolution of golf, but also why PGA of America is putting all these resources and investments in women's golf, no? So I wonder what is the perspective of the PGA of America?
Yeah, mine starts with momentum. You see momentum in the sport. You see it starting with the recreational side. Craig talked about some of the impact that we're seeing, the huge growth in women's golf as a whole. And honestly, in golf overall, every metric you're looking at, golf is in a great place right now. We see it then momentum with our partners, KPMG, and the investment that they continue to see, broadcast and increased rights, storytelling around some of these incredible stories that are on there, which is so important and something that we talk a lot about across, and that connection back to the PGA member. We're seeing it each and every day around interest, and we're using platforms like this to get even more interest in the game, and we think that translates to all the facilities and all the coaching and lessons that our PGA professionals do every day. So it starts there. Then look at this week. This week we're going to see what we think are some record crowds. We've got some really, really great momentum around ticket sales here. We've seen one of the best investments from the corporate community to come out this week. You see it, so the build out, you hear it from some of the people we're seeing at the Pro-Am this week. We've really got a lot of, so it all speaks to the momentum in the game right now that makes us, PGA of America, believe in the KPMG PGA Championship even more and the growth in the women's game.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions for our leaders?
One last one.
All right, go for it.
So you were mentioning of how dear this place is to you, Terry.
Yeah.
And it is your first KPMG. So what would be your dream? What will you expect to see here on Sunday?
I think I expect to see what this course can produce, a championship-worthy, really engaging finale to it. And I think you'll see that, and we've seen it before. If you look at the championships that have happened here And this is the same place that, in 2016 we have the Ryder Cup, and we're bringing back the Ryder Cup to the same location for the first time ever. And it's because it produces worthy champions. It creates an environment that we should see that should be incredible for everyone involved, players, viewers, all the patrons and fans that are here will be really, really special. So I think we're going to see something special on Sunday.
Very good.
Amy?
Terry, just to follow up, you just mentioned the record crowds you're expecting. Can you give us an idea of sort of the numbers you're expecting over the 4 days of this championship?
Tens of thousands. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for attending today's news conference. Thank you, Tim, Terry, and Craig, for your insights as well. Let's have a great week at Hazeltine.
Thank you.
Thank you.